Welcome to the second in the Halo series, in which I discuss the symptoms, the signs, and the fallout from succumbing to pretty privilege or halo effect, or pedestalizing people simply on the basis of some characteristic, their attractiveness, their personality, when you know nothing about them at all. There are 5 symptoms I'd like to discuss with you today. Well, let's see if you've got any of those symptoms. I know I've experienced them myself, and I hope that you don't succumb to them if you haven't yet. The first symptom of pedestalizing and the halo effect is being mood dependent. The truth of the matter is you become a mood slave. Your moods become dependent on the way that the other person is dealing with you, responding to you. You might find yourself only able to get to sleep if you get a text in return for whatever reason. You may find yourself being quite slavish in your moods because you can't be happy unless you feel content that the other person feels you are okay. And what happens is you become a mood slave. You start to predicate all of your feelings and all of your moods around the actions of somebody who may be miles away. Not only are they miles away physically, they're probably miles away emotionally and mentally. In fact, they probably feel rather little for you, but you have put them on a pedestal, and as a result, you have become a mood slave. The second symptom of this particular malaise is being thirsty. Being thirsty means that your actions, your activities, your opinions, your outlook are now all going to be dedicated to pleasing the other person. And the problem with being thirsty is it becomes very repellent. A person who is thirsty is now going to be bending over backwards to please somebody, to cater to their whims, to perhaps spring surprises on them. If you're a man and you're dealing with a woman, I'd like to suggest that springing surprises on a woman is a very bad idea. A lot of people say, it's a good idea because it shows romantic intent. But if you're considering yourself from her point of view, you're acting in a predatorial manner, in which case she's starting to feel like she is the prey. Prey doesn't like to be surprised. Prey will bolt and head for the hills if it is surprised. So stop being thirsty. Stop trying to dedicate actions and activities based on some fictitious view of the world or that person. The third symptom I'd like to discuss with you is emotional castration. What I mean by this is that you now feel that you have to quell your own negative emotions and quell your own stack in favor of the other person. You're trying hard to be the best person possible for them. You're trying to put on a sunny, nice face. What in fact is happening is that you are surrendering. You're giving up your stack. What you are doing is you are now emotionally castrating yourself. You're removing a lot of the attributes and characteristics that that person might actually find attractive if you were to expose them to them. I'm not talking about being a bully or being negative or being horrible. What I'm talking about is simply being able to stand up for yourself. One of these symptoms of emotional castration is that you won't stand up for yourself. You'll simply roll and just let the other person have their way. Most people consume without subscribing. I do it myself regularly with other channels, so I understand. But if you do get an opportunity to hit the bell, or hit a like, or make a comment, or subscribe, hey, there are 4 choices, 4 ways that you can make this old man happy. The fourth symptom of the halo effect I'd like to discuss is that you become fantasy driven. You end up living in your own little fantasy world. You probably already constructed a home for 2 with a white picket fence covered in honeysuckle, based around some kind of infatuation which has no grounding in reality. The infatuation is another dopamine factory. and it rewards your fantasy with more feel-good chemicals in your brain. You might find yourself driving past a florist 1,000 times and never giving it a second look. And then, suddenly, the idea of buying flowers is the most natural thing in the world. It's your fantasy factory at work. You are living in a dreamland. You need to wake up. I'm not suggesting that romance is dead. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't buy flowers under any circumstances. But if you are trapped in the halo effect and you have pedestalized somebody, you have to come to terms with the idea that you might be living in a fantasy land. Start to take a reality check, because unless you do, you're going to get nowhere. The final symptom of the halo effect is stack surrender. The sum total of all of the other things is that you are now surrendering your personal self-esteem. You don't know it's happening, but what is going on subconsciously is that you are surrendering your own self-esteem and you are giving away your autonomy, because you are now dedicated solely to the idea that this other person is more important than you. You're telling yourself that you are inferior to that person, and you are telling yourself that your life and your self-esteem will only be completed and fulfilled if you can get that person. And what you're doing is you're putting a sticking plaster over a gaping wound. The other person that you have pedestalized is a symptom of your own insecurity. You may have become Captain Save-A-Ho. You may have become somebody who thinks that you can somehow rescue another damaged person. The truth of the matter is, the other damaged person has no need for you. And if they do, because they are damaged, in truth, you should be second thinking your decisions. I hope this has been useful to you. I'm sure you recognize one or more of these symptoms in yourself, as indeed I do in myself. Keep your stack, keep it real, and I will talk to you next time.